Oh, so you woke up today with that strange feeling in your chest, didn't you? Like the air around you shifted. Just a little, like something is tugging at your mind, whispering. Pay attention. Funny how life works. One moment everything looks painfully ordinary, and the next, boom. The universe leans in and says, "You're not as forgotten as you think." But shocking news, real news, the kind that rattles your bones. It never arrives with fanfare. It sneaks in quietly, like a secret hand tapping your shoulder in a crowded room, telling you this moment, it's your soon expected breakthroughs arrive when doubt is at its peak. Isn't that funny? Life waits till you're exhausted, till your eyes are heavy, your patience thin, your faith shaky, and just when you start whispering to yourself, maybe I was wrong. Boom. The universe slips something extraordinary into your hands like a secret note passed under a table. Strange, isn't it? The moment you almost give up is the moment everything shifts. People will tell you it's coincidence, timing, luck. But deep down, you know better. It's almost like someone's been watching, waiting for that precise second when you're on the edge, dangling between hope and surrender. See, breakthroughs don't show up when you're strong and confident. Oh no, where's the thrill in that? They appear when life has you backed against the wall, when you've cried so much the tears feel pointless, when you stare at the ceiling late at night wondering why you even started in the first place. That's when something stirs. A feeling, a message, a spark, and suddenly the door that looked bolted, chained, guarded by life itself, clicks open like it was never locked at all. Almost like someone was testing how badly you wanted what you asked for, and the doubt. Oh, the delicious doubt. It creeps in quiet, doesn't it? Whispering, what if nothing changes? What if all this effort is a joke? What if you were foolish to dream? That's when most people fold. They surrender not to defeat, but to fear. They stop right before their moment. Isn't that tragic? To turn around when the finish line was a few steps ahead. To drop the shovel when treasure was inches beneath the dirt. But you're different. Or you wouldn't still be here. Listening, breathing through the ache. Clinging to a thread of belief like it's gold, a thread spun by destiny itself. The funny part is breakthrough moments rarely look shiny at first. They're messy, uncomfortable, disguised as endings. A job loss, a betrayal, a closed door, a sudden silence. Life doesn't bring miracles wrapped in ribbon. No, it delivers them in chaos, drama, confusion. Because only when you've been pushed to your breaking point do you appreciate rebuilding. Only when you're stripped of everything familiar do you notice what's truly meant for you. Only when doubt screams loud enough do you finally start listening to that quiet inner voice that refuses to die. And right there, in that fragile space where you feel tiny, tired, and unsure, destiny strikes. Suddenly someone calls. An opportunity appears. A truth surfaces. A feeling lights up your chest like fireworks. You don't shout about it. You don't announce it. No, you just feel that shift. The air changes. The world tilts. Something unseen clicks into place. and you finally exhale. Not because things are perfect, but because you feel that the storm cracked open a path no sunshine ever could. That's the magic in reaching the edge. You either fall or you fly. But the ones who hold on through doubt, they learn wings they didn't know they had, so here you are, standing at the point where most people quit, doubting if you can keep going. And that's why you're close, because the story always tightens before the twist. The night always deepens before the dawn, and breakthroughs, real ones, prefer to arrive fashionably late, right when you least believe they will. Funny how life works. The universe loves dramatic timing, doesn't it? Pressure. That wonderful, suffocating weight that squeezes your lungs, tightens your chest, and makes your hands tremble ever so slightly. People hate it. They run from it like it's poison. But you're learning something, aren't you? Pressure isn't punishment. It's preparation. Life doesn't turn soft hearts into warriors with comfort and compliments. No, it uses heat, chaos, stretching, testing. Think about it. Diamonds don't sparkle because they lived a gentle life. They suffered under unimaginable force. Steel isn't strong because it was never touched by flame. It was forged in it. But humans, they panic. They think pressure means failure is near when really, it's proof transformation is already happening inside them. Funny how everyone wants strength, but nobody wants to be tested. They want glory without grit, victory without battle, growth without discomfort. They pray for success, but beg life to keep the storms away. As if sunshine ever built a warrior, as if calm seas ever created a skilled sailor. Pressure exposes you. It forces you to see where you're weak, where you're fragile, where you've been pretending. It strips away excuses, distractions, illusions. In pressure, there's nowhere to hide from your truth. And truth, it's not always gentle, but it is always necessary. And look at you, feeling that tightening in your life right now. Bills, expectations, silent nights where anxiety tastes like metal in your mouth, mornings where motivation feels like a stranger you used to know. You tell yourself, why me? Why now? Why so heavy? But what if the real question is, why did life trust me with this weight? Pressure doesn't visit the weak, not like this. It visits the ones with potential, the ones capable of tearing through the limitations placed on them. Life is brutal, yes, but it doesn't waste intensity on those who aren't destined to rise. Most people crumble because they misunderstand pressure. They think it's an enemy when really it's an invitation. An invitation to become someone you can respect when the room is quiet and nobody is watching. An invitation to break the version of you that settled for less and build the version that demands more. The world applauds the sword, but forgets the fire that shaped it. The world admires the mountain peak, but ignores the climb. The cuts, the bruises, the lonely steps in freezing wind. Your pressure is not punishment. It's proof that you are being shaped for something greater than what you thought you could handle. And the reactions, the trembling voice, the shaking hands, the nights you stay awake rehearsing battles that haven't even happened yet. People say pressure breaks people, but they forget it also exposes miracles. That moment when your back is against the wall and suddenly you discover strength you didn't know existed. When panic rises and something inside whispers, "Not yet, not here, not like this." That voice isn't weakness. That is your rising. That is the part of you life is trying to wake up. The part built for more, for bigger, for better pressure squeezes you not to crush you, but to reveal you. Look around. The world rewards those who didn't run, who didn't bend, who didn't drown in doubt. And the beautiful part, pressure never arrives alone. It brings lessons. It brings clarity. It brings a mirror. Sometimes cruel, always honest. So instead of thinking, "I'm being attacked," consider that maybe you're being upgraded. Maybe life is not challenging you. Maybe it's challenging who you used to be. You don't grow by escaping hard moments. You grow by enduring them, breathing through them, glaring back at life with a quiet smirk that says, "I see what you're doing, and I'm still here." And every second you survive what was meant to break you, you become harder to break. The world fears a person who knows their strength. Pressure isn't there to crush you. It's there to introduce you to the version of yourself who doesn't bow, doesn't shake, doesn't fold. A version life has been waiting to see step forward all along. Chaos has a funny way of revealing what peace always hides, doesn't it? When everything is calm, people play pretend, smiling on the outside, falling apart on the inside, convincing themselves they're fine as long as nobody notices the cracks. But when chaos hits, that's when masks slip, voices shake, truths leak through clenched teeth. You think chaos is ruining your life, but maybe it's just exposing where you were never truly stable to begin with. The dream you thought was solid, the relationship you swore was forever, the plan you believed was airtight. Chaos doesn't destroy real things. It only exposes weak ones. If something falls apart during chaos, maybe it didn't belong to your future anyway. You see, people fear disorder like it's a monster in the dark. They cling to routine, predictability, control. But what has control ever truly taught anyone? Predictability is a lullaby for the unprepared. Chaos, on the other hand, chaos whispers, "Wake up." It shakes you, strips comfort from your hands, forces you to face life without your safety nets. And in that raw space, trembling, confused, unsure, that's where you start to see the world as it truly is. That's where you start to see yourself. Not the version dressed in confidence, but the one gripping hope by its throat, refusing to let go even when everything around screams surrender. Funny thing, chaos is honest. It doesn't sugarcoat. It doesn't whisper sweet lies. It kills illusions, releases truth like a blast of cold air. People don't like truth. They like comfort. But comfort rarely births greatness. Some of the strongest souls weren't shaped by gentle mornings and applause. They were shaped by nights where they begged for silence in their own mind. Days where everything felt like it was slipping through their fingers. Chaos is the storm, yes, but it's also the sculptor. And you, right now, you're not falling apart. You're being carved, shaped, redefined. Look at your life. When peace was present, you tolerated things you shouldn't have, ignored things that were rotting from the inside. You stayed where you didn't belong because comfort is a seductive liar. Then chaos arrived, sudden, loud, unforgiving, and tore away the illusions you tried so hard to protect. Betrayal, loss, disappointment, confusion. They hurt deeply, but they also opened your eyes. You learned who was loyal when everything wasn't easy. You learned which dreams still mattered when everything else fell away. You learned that you can stand even when life tries to kneel you. Some people break in chaos, but you're bending, stretching, trembling, but you're still standing. That's the part most forget. Surviving chaos is strength, even when it looks messy. You don't have to bloom gracefully. Sometimes survival is the victory. Every tear shed in silence, every breath taken when your chest felt heavy, every moment you whispered, "I'll keep going," despite uncertainty. That's the unseen glory. Chaos didn't come to bury you. It came to awaken the fighter in you. A gentle life might have made you polite. Chaos is making you powerful. And oh, watch how people change when chaos shows up. Some disappear, some get quieter, some turn on you, some surprise you with loyalty you never expected. Chaos reveals character, theirs and yours. It shows you who believed in you only when things were easy, and who stands beside you even when your world looks like it's burning. Don't resent chaos for that clarity. Thank it. Not many moments in life give you truth without disguise right now. You may feel like the ground beneath you is shaking, like life is rewriting chapters without asking permission, like control slipped through your fingers like sand. But maybe control was always an illusion. Maybe life isn't falling apart. Maybe it's falling into alignment, just not in the gentle storybook way you imagined. Maybe the chaos you fear is really the bridge between who you were and who you are becoming. In chaos, you don't lose yourself. You shed the version of you that could only survive the calm. And the world doesn't respect someone who only stands when life is soft. It respects the one who keeps breathing when the air burns, the one who keeps walking when the path splinters, the one who learns to dance in the fire instead of begging for rain. Chaos is not your enemy. It's your initiation. The universe doesn't send storms to those destined for small lives. It sends them to those who will one day look back and whisper, "I needed that storm." Without it, I would have stayed asleep. Transformation. Such a charming little word, isn't it? Sounds clean, magical, beautiful, like butterflies and sunlight and gentle change. But real transformation, oh, it's never polite, never soft, never graceful. It rips at tears. It drags you through memories you'd rather bury and forces you to face every bit of yourself you tried to avoid. You don't transform because life gently nudges you. You transform because life corners you, shakes you, breaks you in places you didn't even know could crack. People love the results, they crave the glow. They envy the strength, but they forget the violence it takes to become someone else. See, everyone wants to evolve, but nobody wants to lose who they were. They cling to the old habits, old fears, old identities like souvenirs from a life that's already expired. They say, "I want to change," while holding tight to the comfort of the familiar. But transformation doesn't bargain. It demands sacrifice. It asks, what part of you are you willing to let die so the new you can breathe? Most people, they choke right there. They want new beginnings without endings. They want rebirth without death. Cute, isn't it? Wanting to bloom while refusing to shed your petals. And look at you. You're right in the middle of that uncomfortable space where the old version of you no longer fits, but the new version hasn't fully arrived. That space feels like confusion, like loneliness, like being suspended between who you were and who you're becoming. You wake up feeling unfamiliar in your own skin. Conversations feel different. Certain people exhaust you now. Old hobbies feel empty. Old goals feel too small. That isn't failure. It's evolution in real time. You're outgrowing a life that once felt perfect. And of course that stings. Growth always feels like loss before it feels like power. Do you know what makes transformation truly unsettling? It's not the discomfort. It's the silence. Nobody celebrates you during the cocoon stage. Nobody claps when you're fighting your own mind in the dark. They don't see the nights you lie awake wrestling with doubt, or the days you pretend you're fine while your soul rebuilds itself piece by trembling piece. Transformation isolates before it elevates. It pulls you away from distractions, from noise, from faces that don't belong in your next chapter. People say you changed like it's an accusation. But they didn't survive what you did. They didn't feel what you felt. They didn't bleed in the shadows where your new self was forged. And oh, the resistance. Your old life calls you back with sweet whispers. Come back to comfort. Come back to who you were. Stop trying so hard. Tempting, isn't it? To slip back into patterns that numbed you. To return to relationships that drained you. To wrap yourself in the familiar misery that once felt like home. But something inside you refuses. A quiet rebellion, a stubborn spark. You can't unsee what you've seen. You can't shrink back into spaces you've outgrown. Your soul already tasted the possibility of more. And once you taste that, settling becomes poison. Transformation doesn't congratulate you in the middle. It confuses you, stretches you, shatters your sense of identity. You worry you're lost. But what if you're just shedding skins, too tight for your future? What if the version of you that fit your past has no business walking into your destiny? People talk about breakthrough like it's fireworks. But sometimes breakthrough is quiet. Sometimes it's just a whisper in your spirit that says, not here, not anymore. And those around you, watch how they react. Some will distance themselves not because you're wrong, but because they can no longer predict you. Some will feel threatened because you're growing beyond their comfort. Some will say you've changed like it's betrayal. But transformation isn't betrayal. Stagnation is. You're not leaving them behind. You're leaving who you used to be. If they choose to stay there, that's their story, not your burden. So here you stand, trembling between chapters, uncertain, uncomfortable, alive in a way you haven't been in a long time. Don't romanticize transformation. Respect it. It doesn't feel good. It feels necessary. It doesn't feel light. It feels like fire. And fire never asks permission. It just burns away what no longer belongs. The world will see the glow later, but right now, you're in the flame. And that's where legends learn their shape. Clarity, that mysterious little treasure everyone claims they're searching for, but secretly fears finding. Because clarity doesn't just tell you where to go, it tells you who you really are. And most people, they're terrified of that reflection. They walk through life like they're squinting through fog, blaming fate, God, timing, everyone but themselves, whispering, "I just need a sign," when really they need courage. Clarity doesn't hide from you. You hide from it. Because once you see the truth, you can't unsee it. And once you know better, there's no comfort in pretending you don't funny, isn't it? People beg for answers, but the moment the truth whispers, they cover their ears. They'd rather stay lost than face a direction that demands strength. The mind becomes a clever magician, turning excuses into logic, distractions into priorities, illusions into reasons to stay exactly where they are. Because clarity ruins the cozy lies. It exposes the comfortable cages, the relationships held together by fear, the goals chosen to impress, the dreams buried under, maybe later. Clarity slices through the noise and says, "Now what?" And oh, how heavy that question feels when you can't hide behind confusion anymore. You see, clarity isn't a gentle sunrise. It's a lightning strike. It hits you in quiet moments when you're tired of your excuses. When you sit alone and feel that itch in your soul saying, "This isn't the life you were meant to tolerate." That's clarity knocking. It doesn't scream. It hums beneath your thoughts, grows louder with every compromise. Every time you force yourself to smile at a life that doesn't fit. And one day it bursts, not as punishment, but as mercy. The truth never arrives to hurt you. It arrives because lying to yourself was hurting you more. There's a strange thing about clarity. It makes the world sharper. People you thought were forever suddenly look temporary. Dreams you thought were impossible suddenly feel urgent. Habits you once excused suddenly disgust you. You start noticing the weight of wasted time, the emptiness of empty conversations, the hollowness in pretending. It's not that you become someone new. It's that you finally stop betraying who you always were. And betrayal of self, oh, that's the slowest poison known to mankind. But clarity is the antidote, bitter, shocking, impossible to swallow quietly. And here's the part nobody talks about. Clarity is lonely, because once you see, you can't unsee. And the world doesn't like people who see too clearly. They'll call you distant, strange, changed. They'll say you're acting different, as if staying blind would have been a virtue. Some will resent you because your clarity exposes their comfort in confusion. They don't want direction. They want distraction. And watching you walk with purpose forces them to confront their own stillness. So they'll try to pull you back, not always with hate, sometimes with love wrapped in limitation, concern disguised as fear, care painted over with doubt. But clarity teaches you to separate love from control, loyalty from stagnation, and company from alignment. And when clarity truly settles, decisions become simple, not easy. Simple. You stop chasing people who don't choose you. You stop entertaining what drains you. You stop clinging to things that don't feel right. You stop begging life to give you something you're meant to build. You stop asking permission to evolve. You stop saying one day and realize one day is a fairy tale for those scared of the word now. See, clarity doesn't give you wings. It reminds you you've been dragging them behind you this whole time. Of course, clarity demands sacrifice. It asks for your old identity, your old dreams, your old fears. It demands that you clean your soul the way you clean a wound. Painfully, honestly, without pretending it doesn't sting. And in that process, you lose people, places, habits, versions of yourself you once clung to for survival. But survival and living are not the same thing. Clarity comes when you're tired of surviving. When something inside whispers, I wasn't born just to cope. I was born to rise. And rise you will, even if you stumble first. Clarity is not a gift. It's a confrontation. It asks, do you want truth or comfort? And waits with cold patience while you tremble between the two. But once you choose truth, even once, you never really go back. The world becomes sharper, your steps more deliberate, your voice more honest, your spirit lighter. Not because life gets easier, but because you stop carrying the weight of pretending blindness. And the moment you stop pretending, the path appears, not illuminated by miracles, but by the quiet power of finally seeing everything for what it is, and yourself for who you could become. Destiny. Now, that's a funny little word, isn't it? People toss it around like confetti at a party they never planned to attend. Whatever is meant for me will find me. Oh, how sweet, how poetic, how delightfully passive. They wait, and wait, and wait, for life to magically pirouette into perfection, as if fate is some polite waiter holding a silver tray whispering, your blessings, sir, right on time. But destiny doesn't knock like a gentle neighbor. It breaks in like a storm. It doesn't send invitations, it sends disruptions. And most people, they're too busy comforting their excuses to notice the universe grabbing them by the collar. You see, destiny isn't a calm river you float down. It's a current that drags, twists, pulls. And everyone wants the prize, but not the pull. They want change without chaos, transformation without turbulence, miracles without movement. But destiny laughs at comfort. It demands discomfort, inconvenience, risk. It whispers, that old life you cling to, tear it apart. And oh, how tightly they hold on. Because stepping into what's meant for you means stepping out of what feels familiar. And humans, they worship familiarity like it's safety, when in reality, it's often just a well-decorated cage Funny thing about destiny. It always tests you before it trusts you. It asks questions no one wants to answer. Are you willing to lose what's not aligned? Are you brave enough to outgrow the hands that once fed you? Can you let go before you see what's next? And most will choose the devil they know over the future they fear. They pretend caution is wisdom, when really it's just fear in a fancy suit. But you can't tiptoe into purpose. Destiny demands a leap, sometimes blind, sometimes trembling, sometimes messy. But leap you must, because the ground you're on isn't where your story ends. It's where your courage begins. People think destiny arrives shining, clean, triumphant. No, no, no. It arrives disguised as doubt, heartbreak, endings, uncomfortable truths. It removes before it rewards. It cuts before it heals. It breaks your plans so it can rebuild your identity. It takes away the hands you leaned on, so you learn to stand. It removes voices around you, so you can finally hear your own. And every loss that felt like punishment was really preparation. Every closed door wasn't rejection. It was redirection. But the ones who can't stomach temporary discomfort never taste permanent change. They mourn the door instead of turning around to see the gate wide open behind them. And then there are the few. The rare fools hungry enough, hurt enough, brave enough to rise. They feel that internal pull, that strange pressure in the chest that whispers, there is more for you than this. They don't ignore it. They don't shush it. They follow it, even when the path looks empty. Even when people laugh, misunderstand, underestimate. They don't wait for proof before moving. They move before proof, and that is what summons destiny. Everyone wants signs, but destiny favors the ones who act without needing them. Because those who wait for certainty never leave the shore, and those who trust the unknown discover continents inside themselves. People always ask, what if I fail? Oh, darling, failure is the toll booth on the road to destiny. You pay in mistakes, tears, humiliation, growth. Destiny is expensive. Only the bold can afford it. The timid rent dreams, the brave own them, and the world. It doesn't hand crowns to the careful. It crowns the relentless. Those who crawl when they can't walk, whisper hope when their voice cracks, keep going not because they see light, but because they feel something burning inside insisting there must be one. Destiny isn't given, it's claimed, wrestled, yanked from the jaws of doubt by someone who decides, I don't care if I bleed. I refuse to break. Oh, the moment destiny recognizes you, truly sees your persistence, your madness, your refusal to fold. Everything shifts, not instantly, not magically, but undeniably. People who once ignored you watch. Paths that were dark reveal steps. Opportunities you never chased begin chasing you. The world starts bending, not because it suddenly cares, but because it finally realizes you cannot be bent. And once destiny bows its head to your name, life doesn't return to normal. Because you were never meant for normal. You were meant to walk through fire and come out smiling, dust off the ashes and whisper, so, what's next?